I remember when I was younger, I was the moment I realized I was like, this peasant life isn't for me. I was like 10 years old on the plane.
10 years old?
I don't fucking know. I don't know. It was like arbitrary age of young age.
Yeah, right.
We went on a plane somewhere, and I was like, why?
Wow, already
Mom,
privileged. You get to go on a plane.
that's not fucking. Oh, come on. It's like fucking Ryanair.
Yeah,
It's hardly a fucking privilege.
You ever been on EasyJet, Joey?
I know.
That's the furthest thing from privilege.
We were doing like it was like a layover or something, and then so this was like it was a flight that was going to like Australia, but it stopped in like where we were going to, like Amsterdam. So it was like a 2-hour flight. But I remember we were sitting in an economy, and I was like, Mum, why do they get to go in the really, really cool looking one? They get to lie down. They were like, oh, because that's really expensive. And I was like, why don't you pay for it? And like, we can't, I was like, we can't afford it. And I'm like, we can't afford it.
Just get a good bank account.
I was like, you guys have a job, right? And they're like, yeah, we can't afford it. It's too expensive. I'm like, oh, well.
If you were my kid, I would have slapped you over the head.
No, I was just asking. I was like, how much is it? I don't know how much it is. You know, how does it work? You know, 'cause I'm young as fuck. I don't know how much it costs. I have no notion of this before.
Right.
I'm like, well, I mean, how much is it?
How much? Why can't you afford it?
Yeah, I'm like, what? So you're telling me that those people over there have enough money for it? Nah, that's not right.
That's not
If they can get it, I can get it. Fuck that. That was like my mindset. I mean, that's how I've always been in life. I'm like, if someone else can have it, I can have it. Why can't I have it? Why not? Why not? If they get it, why don't I? I'm a person
I don't know.
too.
Did you think like that as a kid?
I don't know.
In my head,
I always thought if someone else could do it, I can do it.
when I was like 10, all I thought was like, "Thank you, Father, for buying me a packet of
No.
Mentos."
I was grateful, but I would always wonder. You never wondered why those other people who had like all this
I
stuff.
wondered, but I was like, well, the fact that we're not there right now means that they're different, right? But
Why?
like-
They're the same as us. They just got lucky. Fuck that.
But I'm like,
that's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe they are like 10,000 IQ. We earned this. Fuck off. No, they didn't. They got fucking lucky. Fuck off. No, you didn't. You made a few good decisions, and that you made an air conditioning company. Good for you.
How to get privileged? Just get lucky.
There's a lot of luck involved.
I mean,
it is mostly luck.
Yeah.
90% of the people in that first class fucking born into wealth, bro. It's bullshit.
That is true. That is
not
true.
fair. It's the same rich people giving each other their kids money. I'm like, fuck that. I deserve that. Why don't I deserve that?
I'm gonna have some of that.
But what's wrong with having that mindset of being like, if they can do it, why can't I get it?
I mean, no, there's nothing wrong with having that.
There's nothing wrong with having that mindset. It's just funny that you were having that mindset at like age
Literally,
10.
yeah, like from a young age.
You're just trying to be a pro gamer.
From a young age, I always was like, I just want to like, why can't?
Why aren't my parents min-maxing life right now?
No. I just always thought if someone else could do something, always from a young age, like if they could do it, I can do it.
No, that's great. That's a great mentality to have.
That
It's
is-
just, when it's talking about, like
Well,
privilege.
It's because money's like a taboo subject, right? You can't say that you want to get a lot of it, but
Yeah.
like, I mean, I just think that
That's
like
bullshit.
Yeah,
Like everyone wants to have a lot of money.
Yeah, of course.
That's it. I mean,
But no one wants to admit that, right?
people don't want to admit that they're like that. I mean, people are always like, if I had that, but they're never like, I'm gonna go for it. Because it's embarrassing admitting to your friends being like, I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to go for that shit, right?
Yeah.
Because that sounds, you're like, all right.
Yeah, all right, man.
All right, go back to Walmart.
Yeah.
All right, shut the fuck. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
nah, dude, fuck that. Let people try if they want to, man. Let them fuck up. Like,
absolutely.
If you're going to go bankrupt, do it before 30 so you can at least like fix your shit, you know? Like, what was it? I saw a thing that was like most people have the most impactful years in your life are like 40 years old. You like the people who do the important things, are the CEOs of the company, all that stuff. It's when you're 40. So just fuck up. Try and do a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
honestly,
Take some risks.
Go for gold when you're like 20. Why the fuck not?
Take some risks while you're young.
Yeah, honestly, like what I try to tell people is like, especially those in their mid 20s, because I feel like everyone hits like their mid 20s or like 23, 24, where they realize, oh, I'm just going to be working for the rest of my life,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And, everyone gets their first job. You get excited getting your first job. You're like, damn, I'm actually getting paid for once. I'm not a peasant anymore. Because, mate, let's be honest, being a student is
That's
like...
what they want. That's what the system wants you to think.
Exactly.
Being a student is just like, man, you've just gotten used to living like a peasant, right?
right. It's like, yes, this is normal.
Yeah, you're just like I remember somewhere in my mid 20s when I just realized, man, how the fuck did I just live off cup ramen for a good like 5 years of my life?
Yeah.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
And I've just like internalized that to be like, dude, night out versus cup ramen. Night out anytime.
Yeah, of course.
Got to get your priorities right. But then you realize, wow, I have a job with a disposable income. I can have like a decent living, and that's what you would hope that most people would have if they went through university, if they got an education. It's a lot harder now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was lucky enough to get even my first job after I graduated from uni, which a lot of people have a hard time have a hard time doing that. But I will say, if you are able to be in a position where you can give yourself a safety net, then by all means, fuck up in your 20s. Because your 20s are the best point where you can fuck up in life and still it not be the end of the world.
Yeah, you still have enough time to recoup, right? And like, get back to ground zero.
Yeah. That's why I was like, fuck it. Yeah, I'll try YouTubing. It's probably a terrible idea to lose 2 or 3 years of my possible long engineering career to this. But I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm going to try it. Like, why wouldn't I try it? Like, it'd be stupid for me not to try it, you know?
Yeah, go for gold. But I mean, it does get to a point where... because I mean,
if I went down like the engineering path, I'm sure you too, eventually in your 40s, you'd probably have a very cushy wage. You'd be very well
living
off.
comfortably.
You'd have a very nice, you'd be able to afford very fine things in life when you become a chartered engineer. The pay you get is very good.
Yeah.
And when you work in certain places where the engineering gets, more difficult or whatever, like you can start getting nutty money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, yeah, fuck that. I'd rather take 20K a year doing something that I like that also has the chance to make way more down the line, and that's what I was always like there. I always thought, why settle? I would rather risk losing it all trying to make $1 million than just settle for like,
the comfortable amount, right?
Because to me, it's like, I can do that at any point in my life. I can settle down and do things, smartly.
Because you never know, like with our career, right? Like it could start happening tomorrow for all we know.
Yeah, like if you become
right?
the biggest fucking YouTuber on the planet next week, dude, you're set for life. You know what I mean? So it's like, but I don't even think of it like that. It's not like how I see YouTube anyway. But I just would rather risk and do something that's kind of like, oh, that's kind of. Could lose it all. XD. could just become homeless tomorrow. Fine, dude. Like,
better start camping.
Yeah, right. Better start getting good at camping. But like, I mean, I'd rather try it. Like,
of course.
Fuck it, why not?
I think it's important to like recognize that some people are just not in the position to be able to try.
That's true. Yeah,
because
that's just true.
Because
I was very, very lucky that I'd built up the savings, and I also had a really good family that set me up to allow me to do that.
Exactly.
Because like I will say this right now, like I was never brought up, like my family weren't in the best of financial positions at all. But like I was lucky enough to have like a mum and dad who like worked their fucking asses off to like get me through and give me a better opportunity than they ever had. And that's why like right now I'm trying to like most of everything I earn, I like spend on them. I spend more on them than I do on me because I feel like it's my way of like paying back the opportunity that they gave me.
Yeah.
Because,
such a good boy.
Yeah, I mean it's
best boy gone.
Such a good son.
I mean, dude, like, yeah, I mean, my parents, like, especially my dad, he came up from like fucking poverty almost in fucking Thailand and somehow found his way to England and worked his fucking ass off. Had a much harder life than I ever went through. So of course I'm like, fucking dad.
Isn't that fucking badass though? Like he had a dream, moved to England, and then his son's like engineering degree, and then now he took some anime titties. But that part of the story.
That was not what I was expecting.
That part of the story. He probably doesn't tell that. His family gatherings, but
nah, he's fucking proud now, man.
He's like, like that's badass, dude.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
No, because I feel like it's a fallacy where you think money solves every problem that you have. When money does not solve. No. It
makes life significantly easier.
It sounds so privileged when you say that, but like no, like as someone who has been poor in their life, money doesn't solve every problem. But there is a point in your life where money is 90% of your problems, right? And just and once
when money is your problem, you don't really have time to think about anything other than money.
Exactly. And like my mentality when I was a kid was just I just want to get by and be like comfortable, you know, because
same.
And I feel like that was my big driving force to like really try to be successful and to take risks, is just because I was just tired of just not like knowing what my life situation would be like 5 years down the line. It's just like how the fuck am I going to take care of my parents when they get old? Like that was a big fucking thing for me.
There's definitely a time when I was like 16 to like 18 where I thought, I really love video games. I don't really care what job I get. I just want to be able to play games after work. That's what I genuinely thought I wanted for like a few years.
Yeah.
And then when I went to university, it like very much kicked in. I was like, I don't think I can do an 8-hour job a day that I hate.
No.
Like I think I can't do that.
I did a 3-month internship to know that I don't want to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I was like,
I mean, more power to people who love that line of work. It just, I was jealous. I was at the time, I was so jealous of the people that loved my course and what we were doing because I felt like they were just so OP with school.
Yeah.
They like got through it. They got all the good opportunities because they enjoyed it. Like I just didn't enjoy it and I couldn't try because I just didn't care.
No, I have
hate
so
this.
much respect for people who, can go to their, 9-to-5 job and be like,
I was
fine.
At the time when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, I was so jealous. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, man, I wish I knew what the fuck I was
Yeah,
doing.
right?
And I'm sure for every person, like, I got very lucky and I found something that I loved and that luckily makes money somehow. My mum disbelieves that it did for a very long time, but somehow it
I
makes
think a lot of
money.
parents did.
Yeah.
Somehow it makes money, right? And I'm sure for every one of me that got very lucky, there was probably 10 people who never really found what they liked and just had to like kind of just be like, all right, well, I got to get a job. I can't do nothing on my life.
Yeah, exactly.
It sucks.
I think one thing I've realized more as I've grown older is that as a kid, we were sold this idea that there's only really one way your career path can go, right? It's like education, university, get a job to do with your degree, and your career progresses from there. And that's like, I had that mentality for like the longest time in my life. And now like the older I've gotten, the more people I've met who have had like the weirdest fucking career paths.
Lady beer.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of those people on the podcast.
I feel like in the entertainment industry, you do meet the people who kind of are just bouncing from things to things.
They're just trying to figure out what they want, right?
Not even
trying to enjoy life.
Yeah, not even in entertainment, just like living in Japan as well. Like I like meeting like teachers who have like found opportunities just randomly. Sometimes like what I'm trying to say is that as a kid, we got put this pressure on that by the time you go to university or by the time you finish high school, you need to know what you want to do for the rest of your life.
I wish they didn't fucking sell me that lie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bullshit.
That's
That is 100% bullshit.
That is the biggest lie of the fucking world. I feel, especially when you're a young adult. The biggest lie of the fucking world is thinking that once you start a career path, that you're gonna have to stick on this for like the majority of your life, and that's such a fucking lie. And like another big lie is thinking that you need to go to fucking university or college to have a decent career. That's also a fucking lie. There are so many different career paths that are available to you. That is not just higher education, because as an Asian, I was taught that if I don't do higher education, I'm a fucking failure.
If I don't get that A, I failed as an Asian.
And I'm not even talking about being a YouTuber, because obviously we are very lucky to be able to be YouTubers,
absolutely,
right?
yeah.
But like I'm not even talking about like, oh, we're YouTubers, that's a different career path I found. No, I've met like so many other people who have like just found random jobs. I mean, fucking Maylin found her fucking job through Craigslist. Like
it is about just trying and looking and just being at the right places at the right time and making sure you take every opportunity that comes your way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And that's why
You miss every opportunity you don't take.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And if you, which is in the UK, which is something that I just really didn't enjoy, it was like the culture of you go to work, you go to the pub, and that's it. Like you never try and do any self-improvement. You never try and like look for any other opportunities. Like looking for another job is like, oh wow, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. And like there are so many opportunities out there for different jobs that you like never even thought about until you until it's just on your lap. Like have we ever talked about Kenny before? Like your friend?
No, I haven't talked about Kenny.
What he's doing?
Oh, well, yeah, Kenny's my friend who's lives in Niigata. And
Yeah.
He's just crazy guy. He's great. I love him. He's amazing. He's so funny. He's really
He's a proper lad, he is.
And he's up in Niigata in the middle of Japan, and he's half Japanese, half Welsh, and he's just a fake priest. And like I think I've spoken about this on before that my friend's a fake priest.
Yeah.
But like he teaches English, and then he's also a fake priest, and that's just what he likes doing. But he also just doesn't really care about being in one place for too long. He's like, I just kind of go wherever, and
Just a wanderer.
He literally just goes places, and he's like, all right, what's going on? Let's figure out. Let's try and get a job here.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give a fuck.
I have a friend who's similar to that.
Because
who lives here.
like, and I couldn't do that.
No.
But he's badass. He just turns up and does what he wants. It's great. Like he's always super happy and super optimistic. And I'm like, fuck, are you British? Are you really like you grew up in the UK, right? How are you
It's
this
the Japanese
optimistic?
side that's kicking in for him right
He
now.
just turns up. He's like, yeah, what's going on? Like, always has a good time. Talks to anyone he meets. Like, it's just like, it's a good
I feel people like that are usually like the most optimistic people in the planet,
Yeah.
right? Because I have a friend like that who was like, he's an animator for an anime studio here. He did like I met him through like the Pop Team Epic stuff, but like he also just like goes out. He's just like, I'm just gonna go on a road trip for a month and just like try and make some money along the way and just see what happens.
Yeah.
And like he comes back with all these like insane like stories of just like him on the road being like, yeah, I just like walked into this like random cafe, got a job for like 2 days, and then got some money and used that for like fuel to just like go to the next place. I'm like, that's so fucking cool because
Yeah.
I can never fucking do that.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
I could not bring myself to just be like, I don't know where I'm going to be tomorrow.
Yeah,
I don't know what I'm going to
could
do
not
tomorrow. I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do
myself.
that either.
No.
I need like some like at least a little bit of a plan.
I need some kind of direction.
I like
Yeah,
plans.
yeah.
I like plans.
Yeah, I like plans.
I like that.
Yeah, I used to like spreadsheet all my like spending in university, like to the
really?
like, penny, and I would like have like a prediction of like my spending coming up and what I was allowed to spend, and like literally everything in a spreadsheet. And then and then when I started like my YouTube started giving me some money, and in university I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I was like, I don't need this spreadsheet anymore. Fuck this. I'm not. Why am I like fucking? Why am I like spending hours a week updating this fucking spreadsheet? It doesn't fucking matter anyway. So I'm not gonna spend that much.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like to go off what we were saying, I'm not saying like there's no place for like higher education and university or everything, but
I'm still glad I went.
yeah, I'm still glad I went. But what I'm saying is like, you don't feel the pressure to need to go just because you don't know what you want to do with your life. You know, that's the big thing, right? Because it's such bullshit that by the time you hit 18, it's just the expectation where it's just like, you need to know what you're doing now. You know, your birthday is ticked over. You are now an adult. Like you need to know everything.
There are
now.
30-year-olds out there, 40-year-olds who don't know what the fuck they want to do.
Yeah.
The
right?
guy
So
who
it's
like
just
founded McDonald's is like 40 years old.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like
So it's
I
just-
don't really feel too bad about it. You're like like I said earlier, like you'll do the most productive years of your life like 40 years old. So as far as I'm concerned, you're just fucking up until you get to the point where you can like actually do shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just fucking up enough until you found out a way to not fuck up, right?
Build the foundation of the character you want to be. You know.
It all goes back to the snowboarding, right? Like just tumble a couple of times until you learn how to not tumble.
Damn, what a good ending. Cue credits.
Get good in life.